Let's talk about this coronavirus. Unless you're somebody who's completely cut off from the rest of society, you know what the coronavirus is. It's this horrible virus that ends up in death 50% of the time. If you're really old, your chances go up. And if you're really young, your chances go up. But if you're right there in the middle, there's a strong chance that you'll die. Like, what the hell? What are you supposed to do in a situation like this? Just spend time indoors? Which honestly is perfect for me, because that's what I do anyway. I work from home and I'm a massive introvert, and I'm totally fine with staying in my house and not having contact with people ever again. Yeah, I will admit it's a little annoying that I can't go to the forest and chase bears into the woods like I did that one time. I admit, I know, it was very stupid. Everybody said so. I know myself. So, that's a story for another time. Here's the thing with this virus, which makes it so nasty. You don't start showing symptoms until up to 2 weeks. So in the meantime, while you're feeling all jiffy, you go around infecting everybody in sight. You gotta figure, every day, there's an exponential of 40% of people getting infected. So by the end of the month, based on the information we have now with how many people are infected every day, or documented of being infected, we're talking about up to 1 million people. Now, at first, everyone is thinking, oh, it's in China, we have some time. No, bitch, the virus is here. And God help us if it hits somewhere like New York or the big megacities. It's like World War Z all over again. The first thing you're thinking about with this virus is, oh boy, it's gonna be like one of those zombie movies.
1, 2.
If you're like me, your mind starts going wild and you're thinking, are the people who really died going to come back as something else? Is it going to morph us into something else? It's going to eat and infect other people? Can my animals get it? Is this place going to be on lockdown and quarantine? It means I can't say hi to other people? Yes! It's going to be freaking Mad Max all over. You're going to have people walking out of their houses dressed like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Watch, it's going to be in the dead of summer and people are going to be dressing like they own a few camels in an oil refinery right now. And don't lie, if you have family in those cities where there are cases of this illness, you're probably worried about them, but you don't exactly want to go and see them. You know what I mean? I know, I'm losing my voice, and it's not because I have the virus, it's because I was screaming bloody murder. Not like it's gonna matter, because if I was carrying the virus, I would know by now, right? But maybe not, because I've stayed inside. Unless, of course, a bug came through the vent or something and it has the virus. Anyways, as for your family, in your mind, you're like, Jesus, I hope they're okay. And then the other side of your mind is like, you're in one of those places that don't have the virus rampant, yet you're like, thank God I'm not over there where they have it. The best I can do is tell them some instructions as to how to keep themselves safe and just, pray, because, that fixes everything. Praying and sending wishes like we're DC characters. But I totally get it, because what are you going to do? What are you going to sail over there, come into contact with thousands of people who might be walking around all trolley-lolly-da like nothing's wrong with them, but they're carrying a deadly virus that has a 50% chance of killing you, even though you're totally healthy? And that's the other thing I'm wondering. Where is the data for this virus? Okay, they've provided us with data, and they're not telling us everything, though, because they don't want to monger fear and cause mass panic. I completely get that. We watch movies, we've dealt with stuff like this before in our history, but so far, the only thing we know about the stupid coronavirus is that people started dying and getting really sick in Wuhan, China in late December. Remember, you don't start showing symptoms until up to 2 weeks after you contract the stupid thing. So for 2 weeks, people who had the virus were walking around infecting other people, and the pigs or animals or whatever the hell it is that gave us the virus, snakes, whatever, is probably still out there infecting humans. Who knows? The number of infected are quickly rising. See, it sounds like a freaking zombie movie. Now, it's in several countries aside from China, because people are going to China and then getting out of China, and people who are in China are getting out of China. So then they're carrying the infection with them to other countries. You can try to put measures in place to stop the virus, but that doesn't really stop it from spreading. They're screening people's temperatures, whether or not they have fevers at major airports in the US. But what these idiots have forgotten is that a fever doesn't tell you whether or not you have the virus, because for 2 weeks, you're asymptomatic, which means you show no symptoms of being sick at all. Ping, 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 you're good, sir. You're totally healthy. You look totally fine. You don't have any illnesses. Soon as he walks out the door, the 2 weeks are over, and it's time to start showing symptoms. But oh boy, I'm already here, and now I can infect many people. But it doesn't even matter, because even in those 2 weeks, I didn't have symptoms. I was still infecting people. The person who screened this guy is probably infected right now. This thing is a nightmare. And as of January 25th, 2020, there were 1,300 confirmed cases and over 40 deaths in China to this thing. That means there's probably upward of a few thousand. Fast forward to 4 days later, and there are now 4,000 cases. And I'm pretty sure those cases are people that are in the hospital showing symptoms, not the vast majority of people who are out there who are not showing symptoms and still affecting other people, which you can probably estimate to be around 30 to 40,000. Jesus Christ. This is a nightmare. And the airport thing, okay, they can't screen. You're like, what measures can they put in place for people who are coming in? If you can detect the virus in the blood, why aren't they taking their blood? Just a thought. or I don't know, whatever. And then you have these weird people like me who were like, you know what, this is actually cool that I'm in an actual intro to a horror movie. Wouldn't it be cool to be in a quarantine and not see any cars on the road? It's like you're living in the actual apocalypse. As a writer, I was so at least satisfied. I don't want to say happy because it's kind of insensitive, but it gave me a lot of content for my stories. I already put up my first creepypasta about the coronavirus. I don't think people were very happy with it though. They're kind of upset because I guess they think, they were of the mind I was going to give them some news, but instead they got a story of how the virus can evolve into flesh-eating people, so sorry. When you click on the video, you should have looked at the channel that was putting out the video. You can see that it's a creepypasta story channel. Regardless of the dislikes, I'm still getting views, and that's cool, especially considering that the channel's a baby. Anyways, the other thing I'm wondering is, they have nothing in place to kill the virus. Okay, they have two things. One of the things I actually thought of myself before I found out the information. I was like, what if you drink a whole bunch of alcohol, just down a whole bunch of vodka, and you have alcohol in your blood, like more alcohol in your blood than actual blood? I don't think the virus is going to be very happy living in your body. I think the virus is going to enter your bloodstream, and it's going to be like, what in the ass? Abort? Or it's probably just gonna die as soon as you're infected, meaning as soon as it hits your alcohol-laden bloodstream. Then I'm like, okay, well, to avoid getting infected in the first place, do I have to drink a certain amount of alcohol at a certain time of day? Like, do I wait till I'm infected and try to kill it with the alcohol by drinking as much as possible and possibly killing my liver off in the process? Then my husband Fox weighed in and said, yeah, but what if you have the alcohol and then when you're sober, the virus infects you anyway? Then I'm like, yeah, but you just keep drinking the alcohol, to kill the virus, right? Every time it comes back. And he's like, but the alcohol in your body prevents your immune system from dealing with the virus in the first place, isn't it? And I'm like, no, bitch, but not if the chances are 50% I'm gonna die anyway. Why would I want to take that chance? I'll become a freaking alcoholic. I don't think I'll take those chances. I like how the researchers are like, high heat will kill the virus. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what are they talking about? Like, if you live in Arizona or Nevada, you have less of a chance of getting it? They're like, if you expose the virus to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, it would die within half an hour. I'm just nodding my head like, bitch, yes, so will we. What the fuck is wrong with these people? It's not a real solution if the host dies as well. Is anyone taking any data? Like, the old people that die, are they poor? Were they taking a whole bunch of medications at the time the virus killed them? Is there any catalyst to the virus killing them? Like, certain medications react badly to it or something? Are their living conditions or diets a factor in whether or not they survive the virus? For example, if a person takes a lot of opiates, are they more susceptible or are they more likely to live? Is it more elderly homeless people or people who have access to healthcare and are old and have had vaccines? Is it more men than it is women, or is it one of those hippie viruses that's just like one love for everybody, boy? I'm sorry, but this is what goes on in my mind, and it goes at the speed I'm talking. I'm itching to know these things, and it's like, stuff that I would ask. Very important questions. Another thing is, I would put a ban on traveling everywhere and anywhere except for food, even with that. Because, again, we need food and we need medication. So maybe, they disinfect that and they send it out. But we need to isolate the situation before it gets worse. Screening people and wiping their forehead with some piece of shit, I don't even know what they're wiping their forehead with, as they're coming into a country does not help. Also, can you imagine the chaos? Because I'm sure that a lot of people who get sick with just a common cold are going to be paranoid as fuck. So they're going to go and flood the hospitals thinking that they have the coronavirus, only to find out a little bit later that no, son, you just have the flu. Meanwhile, a person with the actual coronavirus is walking outside like Super Mario, taking a day off, trolley lolly dying on the bus, on the train, or a plane, and just blessing people with the holy ghost of this virus, leaving a death infection trail in his wake. I can understand why some people are scared out of their minds. And then for the people who are immune to the virus, well, how do you really determine that? Let the virus run its course without treatments and see if they die? Because if you treat them, you don't know if it's a treatment that worked or if their body just fought it off. Another thing I think about is, can you imagine how horrible it must be for someone who went on vacation to China and then they got stuck in a lockdown? Now they're out of money and they have no place to stay. What are they going to do? Stay with the natives who are most likely infected already? This is a disaster. At first, honestly, I was thinking, the news likes to blow up things. And that's why the damn people shouldn't cry wolf all the time, because this is exactly what my mindset was. They're blowing up the whole thing out of proportion to scare people. It's fear-mongering to get their ratings off of this, and it's political and all of this stuff. But then you watch the news, and 4,000 people are sick and 70 dead within hours or minutes of each other. It's just like, maybe, I need to rethink how I'm analyzing this. And I'm sorry, but why is the United States not shutting down travel? Why is everyone still opening their airports for travel? Does it take take a rocket scientist to figure out that the best way to help contain the virus, or at least slow down the spread of further infecting people, is to, I don't know, stupid old peasant civilian me, prevent people from spreading it by going all over the freaking world. But no, we're not gonna ban travel yet because they're waiting on God knows what, Jesus to come back or something. Who's in charge of this operation? Seriously. Anyways, that's enough for now. I can go on and on about this. I just wanted to vent about that, and I'm hoping that, I don't know, what do you say to people who are sick with the virus? Like, I pray the odds are forever in your favor and that you land on the positive side of the 50%? Jesus Christ. Anyways, good luck, be safe. Yeah.